And if people are annoyed, well,
hello.
We are live.
We are live.
We are live.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Tuesday night. There's slight clicking, possibly. We hope you don't hear it. Kelsie and I have been hearing it. It's freaking us out. It could be a ghost. It could be the connection. My internet is down, so I am using an iPhone. I'm sure you're riveted by this, but please welcome and chime in if you hear the clicking as well, and we can keep track of it and see if it's trying to talk to us.
You've turned it into sort of an exorcism at this point.
I'm making a game of it.
Yeah, there it is. I hear it. Okay, so we're going to try to ignore it and figure out. I do think there's like a lagging or something. Oh, it's got really bad again.
Is it? I don't really hear it very much.
Yeah. All right. Well, we're going to try it. I don't hear any clicking. You know who that is? Good friend Joni. Oh my gosh.
Maybe they don't hear it. Okay, yay. Joni.
All right, well, we're gonna move on. Click list. Yeah, all right. Yeah. Janice Rodriguez. Oh, riveted, she's saying. Yon.
Yay. Hi, everybody.
Oh, darn it. There it is.
Oh, now Kelsie hears it. Or Joni hears it.
All right. So we're gonna.
How is your writing week going?
Oh, I have to fully confess, real bad. But on the flip side, that creativity, oh no, I don't know if we can do it. I think it's just going to be a pure writing. Talking, no. Writing, yes.
Yeah. All right, guys, we're going to do less talking. I know you're really sad.
Yeah.
Go clicking.
I like that at least you're all like, it's definitely paranormal and not tech related.
Yeah. It could be the devil's heels clicking in your behind you, so watch out for that, please.
You're just ready to terrify everyone.
I'm just letting people know that is a possibility. Okay. We're just gonna jump right in. We're gonna jump right into the first one so that we can write and not click. It's really not that bad. Thank you. It's like when you do a play and they're like, you were good. You were good. The costumes were very pretty.
But yeah, I think this is a good idea. This is, oh, thanks. Everybody's giving us very much confidence. I think this is a great idea, though. Less talking, more writing. There's no excuse not to write now. So let's just dive in. We'll talk about our feelings later.
All right, sweet.
Okay.
All right, guys. So we're going to start off with a 5-minute writing sprint. I'm going to give you guys a prompt. The theme for this week is magical powers. As always, feel free to just ignore the prompt or change it up if you'd like to, whatever works for you. And all right, here we go. 5-minute prompt. Your character finds a secret door, comma. What do they do next?
Ooh.
Your character, your character finds a secret door. What do they do next? 5 minutes.
Okay, I'm going to get the timer going and share that screen. We're all ready? I know we're not supposed to be talking, but I want everybody to know all these prompts are also in the description box. If you didn't hear it, just check out the description box. Now I'll be quiet. Hey!
Oh no.
What did I do? I started it again? Oh no, she's
I did.
on.
Hold on.
I can
Fraser.
hear you. I can hear you. I can hear you though. You sound wonderful.
Okay. I am back.
Well, we'll at least we'll get a cameo later from Jen and Fraser. We're gonna keep going live without Jen, but I'm sure she'll pop right back in, no problem. So here's the question, everybody. Here I want to know how everybody did. Oh, she's back.
I'm back.
She's back in action.
You
got the devil.
guys, my writing's from the devil got me.
Don't be joking about that devil.
No, that's what you get. That's what you get.
So can I ask you, Jen, if you don't mind me asking how that sprint was for you, and then we'll kick it out to our super fans as well.
It was good. You know, it was a little messy, obviously, because I'm a little messy tonight. So it's like where my brain is.
You're staying on theme. Cool.
I was kind of jumping all over the place. I had a hard time like sticking to a specific scene. And I kept like moving the secret stuff. It was like a secret door and then a secret compartment and then a secret, you know, like place in the bag, like all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about you?
Yeah, I think we talked about this last time a little bit as well. I do think like the writing sprint and like just keep writing is like a little more frantic. I do think, you know, when you're doing tech and things, this is the thing is like doing writing on your own. I don't feel as frantic, you know. Joni said, "You're the ghost." So yeah, it was a little frantic, but I do feel like even in that I find goodies. And you know what I wanted to talk about? Like when I usually write, I have like a highlighter. I haven't been doing this the last time because we're not doing an editing process. But afterwards, I like to go through and just like pull out at least a couple of things. And I did find some good things here. And like a theme, which is like, why is there always at a door, there's always like a challenge or a riddle? And I'm like, if there was a riddle and it was like an algebra word problem, I would be so fucked. I would never be able to get it. You know, so I'm like things that I could make jokes about potentially.
I love the idea of using a highlighter. That's so smart. So do you do that highlighter like after, so you like write, you do the free write and then you go back and you highlight the things that pop out at you?
Yeah. And then if I'm going to redraft it, like that's where I'll start. Yeah. And I feel like magical powers is never something I write about. So we talked about this a little bit before. Like if we get into like a fantastical element, sometimes I feel a little more free where I'm not, I'm just like, who cares? Make stuff up. You're never going to use it. And like that opportunity to like, no one's ever going to see this anyway. Sometimes it gives me joy and I can find some stuff in there. But yeah, I always do. Yeah, this first one, I'm a little frantic. You know,
that's okay. Again, that's kind of what the first free write is all about, is like just getting the junk out, letting your head go, you know, go through it and, you know, hello, Shelby. And yeah, just kind of like moving through it so that you can get to the next one.
Well, thanks, Janice.
It is a good tip.
Yeah, moving through. The highlighters. Listen, the more I'm like, oh, the more utensils you can have.
Kelsie is very good with that. She does a lot of like Post-it notes and like all that kind of stuff, which is smart because I think it organizes the thoughts, which is like what you need to do in writing. And I think, you know, when you get sort of stuck with something, I think it's a lot of it is like getting back to the organizing.
Yeah.
Sense of the thoughts.
And I think, you know, and I know that I mentioned this before, so I'm not going to always mention masterclass every time. Yeah, right. But that idea of writing is like sort of a fog, and then whatever you need to do to sort of open it up and really find the light, find the clarity. And for me, it is like organization. I love the madness, though. I do love the franticness. Yeah. I think that's what I like. I come back for, but I like the balance. I can't stay in the fog too long.
Yeah, I'm with you. I have to go back and forth. And then for me, it's all about structure. So like I go to genre structure and I'm like, okay, what are the steps that I need to take for this genre? And like, what leads me through it? And that it's like, it opens the keys for me, opens the doors.
Oh my gosh, right back to the prompt. But I also feel like that balance though comes in so many different things. Like I have a tendency, like discipline or play is kind of how I deal with it in comedy world. It's like, sometimes I want to just throw my set out and just do a lot of crowd work or just like do some more improv or like the play of it all. Sometimes I get like into that too much and I have to come back to the discipline, the organization, the structure. But I think that balance is really key. And I think sometimes I don't play enough and that's what gets me a little stuck.
And the hard part is, I think, honing your instinct about when you need to switch to one or the other. I think that's sort of, and I don't know how to tell people that. I don't even know how to tell myself that. I think it's just listening and sort of being like, I'm struggling here. I'm going to switch it, into gear. Cause I think I get in these modes where I'm like, I'm only editing. I will only edit.
Yeah.
And then, because otherwise I feel like I won't do it. And then I get really stuck and I'm like, no, I need to like play around and just be messy for a while and then edit. Like I really need to be messy every day for like 5 to 10 minutes.
Yeah, I agree. And I could find a lot of inspiration in artists that are not in my field. So I've been watching a lot of like painters on YouTube, and there's this gal, Lee Alexin, and I'll put her in the description. She really talks a lot about her fine art. So she's painting. And one of the things that she does that I think is huge that I often forget about is like just change the environment, change where you're sitting. If you're writing like this, try a standing up desk, try it in the kitchen, try to go outside. Like sometimes that really helps me out and is part of that play in like, not like a throw it all out the window kind of a way,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, who's the guy who like, it's for like a TV show. He like writes the whole first draft in writes the whole draft in like 2 days or maybe it's a film and he throws it away. And then he goes home and tries.
Sorkin? That's cocaine, Jen.
No.
That's the power of cocaine.
Aaron Sorkin who does that?
Yeah.
You're like, that's why it's not working. That's what I'm missing.
Oh, but I love the idea of, and I think this is where this platform gets me a little like up in arms a bit, is the idea that no one will see it, that you literally throw it away. Because I feel like we're often like presenting a lot of writing or creating. We're like, well, this is going to go on my Instagram feed, or this is going to go in my notebook, but I want to show it and wants to be like a beautiful spread. You know what I mean? Instead of being like, no, this is allowed to be absolute shit because no one's going to see it. And the trash bag is your friend. That is a Margaret Atwood quote. The trash bag is your friend.
Your friend. That's true.
Yeah. So we get on to the next one?
Yeah. We just gotta go into it after that. That was awesome. Trash bag is your friend. I'm actually literally writing that down. Trash bag is your friend. Okay.
Love it.
Good stuff. Guys, we are now going to do a 10-minute writing prompt. So I'm going to give you a prompt again. And as always, feel free to do what you would like with the prompt. Here we go. 10 minutes.
Or not even use it, right?
Or not even use it. Just write for 10 minutes if you want to. That's fine. You can fly. Describe your commute to work. Or if you rather change it up, your character can fly. Describe their commute to work. 10 minutes.
10 minutes. Putting it on the clock right now. Making it big. There you go.
Hey, Kelsie. Sorry to interrupt. The timer's not going down.
What? Sorry, guys. We got extra time.
Got extra time.
Sorry. I bet you're
Right.
screaming. Oh, sorry, guys.
This is like our blooper show.
I know.
Okay.
Oh.
We apologize, everyone. Keep writing.
Keep writing. Keep writing.
Yay!
Yay! Bonus time to spare.
We did. So I'm curious to everybody, let us know in the comments if you liked the slightly longer one. That was probably ended up being like 15 minutes. So yeah, my hand is like kind of hurting, but you know, but if you liked it, no, I'm just kidding. But I was wondering, you know, I felt like I was able to get kind of deeper into something.
Yeah,
sort of nice.
I enjoy the longer sprint myself. I feel like I can get to a place, but I know that's not everybody's cup of tea. So yeah, it is interesting to see. What do you guys think? Let us know. I was able to find a voice in it. What were you able to find with the longer?
So it was interesting. You know, we were writing about flying, and I started in first person, and then I kind of switched. I just switched to third person, and then I switched myself right into a different topic. So it ended up being about a dishwasher. You know,
As you do.
Another important topic that's not discussed enough. Yeah, it went real bananas, but I kind of like it. I'm like, I wonder if this could be something. So what about you?
Yeah, you know, I started out with a character, and it just the phrase ankles. They never talk about how it hurts your ankles. And I was like, where's this going, man? And it turned into sort of like an office mockumentary conversation with this old female bus driver who has the power to fly, but sort of used it all in her youth. So now she just lifts people up like a personal Uber. I don't know.
I love that.
Just trying to make ends meet, you know?
I just got to get by with my superpower, okay?
Yeah.
I just got to make my money.
Yeah, I love this idea, which is not a unique idea at all, but this sort of like, you're very special, but you still age and you still have to function in the world, and how even flying loses its sparkle.
Yeah.
But she's really funny. I really like her. She has kind of like a Craig Robinson kind of vibe, who's from The Office. He's from Chicago. That's sort of really like straight, deadpanned. Yeah. Oh, Lisa, that she liked it just about the right amount of time. So yeah, that's cool. We're thinking about making them a little bit longer as well. I do think that 5 minute is good to like sort of knock the cobwebs off, but
yeah, but then maybe like get into it like an even deeper one, like 15 minutes as opposed to 10.
Yeah. I'm finding though that I still, and this happens often, and I'm also not writing every day like I was in April. Like I was really consistent. And so I'm going back. This is all definitely comedy based, where like, I think I need to write often to almost break through that habit. Not that I can't write comedy all the time. That's not, but I'm trying to find something else. And I did in April. I'm just noticing I'm getting into my comfy spot still. Yeah.
I think this was interesting for me because I think I tend to just keep working on stuff that I'm already working on, which is not really getting out of your head. That's just kind of like trying to sneak in extra editing work. But this one was really outside. Like it was just real weird and bizarre and like didn't have any, you know, connection to anything. So I like that. So I feel like maybe that's helping me like just get out of my head a little bit.
Yeah. I would like this virtual write-in for me personally anyway, just to be more play, you know, to be more, this doesn't mean anything. This doesn't just get it on the page, you know?
Yeah, I'm with you. I think that's good.
Can we do our last one?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it.
Let me go back real quick.
So time-wise, do you want to do another 10-minute one?
Let's do another 10-minute. Yeah, because we have the time, and I think people liked it a little bit more. So, guys, this is going to be a for reals 10 minutes this time.
Yeah, these daisies.
Pretend one. Okay. 10-minute write-in, our final one. The prompt is, the crackling fire reminded him of... Go. The crackling fire reminded him of, and of course it could be her or them or whatever you want to do.
Timer started.
All right, we're started.
Thank you so much.
Go.
Thank you so much. That was
I like that. I like the 2 longer ones. I thought that was nice. Yeah. I feel like, especially now, like I'm in it, I'm focused, like, my brain just kind of went right into a story.
Yeah, I agree. I liked it as well. Now we can definitely, because we're sort of tweaking as we go, so we can make that happen.
Yeah.
If you want. Yeah.
How was the sprint?
It was good. I got into, and this is what I like about sort of the free writing, the like having to write and not having to think. I got into just sort of a rhythmic writing, almost the same thing over and over for a while until I got something. And then I eventually got to this weird, like the smoke of the fire was like the blob. It was very creepy and like looking for moisture and drawing everyone out in this very horrifying way. It kind of, and at the end, it just, I want to go back and read. I know that Kurt Vonnegut does this really well in Slaughterhouse 5 because he was at Dresden, Germany, and the bombing there, and how fire sort of crept into his writing. It kind of reminded me of that a little.
That's so cool. So were you writing from the point of view of the fire, or was
it got there eventually? Yeah, sort of this like snaky voice. Kind of never satisfied, always like looking, sort of trapped in a fire with little s'mores and quietly waiting to
go get it. Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, which is very unlike the 2 comedy things I just wrote.
So that's good.
It's good.
You're getting out of your head.
Yeah. How about you? Now that you're in the zone a bit.
It went weird in a way, but like a good way. Like I wasn't able to place it necessarily. It was just kind of like the story sort of going on. But basically the sentence was the crackling fire reminded me of drying out old wet socks. And I like the idea of it's like, it looked like a marshmallow in the moonlight, like an oozing marshmallow, but it wasn't. Like we didn't get to have things like that.
So when you find that you love like a line or two, does that then, when you're free writing, direct you further, or are you just like, oh, that's cool, keep going?
No, I was really interested. I'm like, who's this person, and why don't they get marshmallows? Like, they know what marshmallows are, so they've seen them, but they just have to dry out socks. Like, what's happening here? So I was very interested to follow this person around for a little bit. It was really interesting. A lot about they like clean their clothes from the fire, no using soap. I don't know. It got weird. It was weird.
Yeah.
It was fun.
Do you find that when you write and you like are like, oh, this is what I'm interested in, are you mostly interested in like the people, or do you find like a plot that you really love, or like, ooh, or like environment? What do you find that you're usually drawn to in your own writing?
I think environment. When it's something new that I don't really know where it's going, I think I get really interested in, I just kind of like look around with all the details. So I'm like, what's everybody doing? What are they like, what kind of stuff are they messing with? And that kind of helps me to figure out like what they want and where, like what they're doing. So really by the end of this, I realized like he wants to leave the woods. Like he wants to go into the city. He wants clean clothes. He wants beautiful clothes. He wants hot food. He wants all these things that like sort of the wealthy, urban people have that he knows is out there, but doesn't have himself. And I was like, oh, this person, you can sort of see that they could go out on a journey, like they're ready to make that next leap. Yeah. Like obviously I was like, I think the next step is like somebody comes along in a suit and somehow he gets it, that kind of thing.
Yeah. So like writing and then finding like an intention or a want eventually. Yeah. But you write through the detail first.
I think so, yeah. And when I get stuck too, I'm like, okay, what's everybody doing? Like what's in the room? What's everybody like touching or wanting or looking at, that kind of stuff. Yeah. What's the objects? So
making it tangible, making it really like literally tangible, giving them something to touch. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that helps me because, it tells you a lot about like what somebody's, what their objects are. Do they have jewelry on? Do they have clothing on? Are they playing a piano? Are they smoking a pipe? Like, are they reading a book? Like, what are they reading? That kind of stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know why this is turning into like Margaret Atwood chats, but one of the things.
Everything should.
Oh one of the things that I loved about her when she was talking about, she gets really in her research is like the underwear of the time. She get very like what kind of underwear were they using, and some of that stuff does not come into the book. Some of it does, but like that helps her shape a character. And as somebody who's always writing from my point of view with comedy and essay and stuff like that, this is so like new and it's sort of scary to me. But this I think was where that play comes in that I just don't explore that much. Like getting outside yourself and like, what does this person eat for breakfast?
Yeah, because you've always been very good at that. Like you're super detailed, especially like your stand-up shows and like things, and stuff like that, or your solo shows and stuff. Like it's super detailed. But I think it's different. The idea of like I'm pulling from my own life versus like I'm making this up for a different person. Yeah.
Yeah, I think one of the things that I miss a little bit, and I keep using the word play, but I really think it's just like imagination, not necessarily heightening memory or describing basically a snapshot in my mind, but creating that snapshot and then really dissecting it. That's interesting to me.
It's the same type of skill though, because you're using your imagination. I mean, obviously we pull from our own lives. You're like, oh, I remember I used to watch a show where I ate, like Cookie Crisp cereal. God, remember that? I mean, it was literally
Cookie Crisps.
Cookies. Yeah. It was just cookies.
The 80s for sure. I've still got all those jingles in my head. Yeah. Are you kidding me?
That's hilarious. But like, again, like you're, but you pull from your imagination, I think, to make it as big as it and put the spotlight on it and to fit it into the story. Like, I think it's just using the same tools.
Yeah. Yeah. So I know that we talked about last time, like wanting to set a mini goal for ourselves at the end of this and like just sharing that with folks that are watching either now or going to be watching in the next coming up in the next coming days is what I'm trying to say. Do you have a goal in mind for yourself?
So my goal is I want to do like a 10-minute free write every single day this week. I think this is helpful. I think I want it to sort of be the first thing that I do when I start working. And just like, so 10 minutes every day.
Do you have do you need to, for yourselves, just for accountability, do you need to give us like an exact time that you need to do it, or like that's intense? You don't need to be that specific.
I wish I had that in my life right now. My work schedule is all over the place, but generally either it's like 8 o'clock in the morning or, 1 o'clock in the afternoon, whenever I sit down, but I'm going to try to make it the first thing I do. Almost like morning words, but whenever it's like, first thing working words.
The old morning pages. Gotta love
morning pages. What about you?
Words works. I really miss writing. So when I was doing Camp NaNoWriMo in April, I had like a word count a day and da-da-da-da. Now that I'm expanding a little and I'm being more creative with like actual art and also I'm doing a lot of video editing, I don't want this to go to the wayside, but I think what I was doing before, I just have to be realistic with myself. It's just not going to happen. In June, I want it to happen. So I am committing to this. I am going to, I have a writing prompt journal and they're like tiny paragraphs. I'm going to write in that at least 3 times this week. Very low point of entry. So 3 times in the journal.
That's awesome.
It's going to be really easy because I know that me, like low point of entry stuff, like sometimes I had to be like, pick up a pen, write a sentence. You did it. And I have to start.
And that's okay. I think that you go through waves of it and you shouldn't have to sustain. If you're pushing yourself a little bit too, it's like, you're not always going to sustain that forever. Like sometimes you're like, I'm doing this for a month and that's, I need to now switch to other things. Yeah.
And I think, so that's what I'm going to do this week. And then I know that at the end, so we're going to be doing this again, one more time we've got slotted for May. So next Tuesday, the 26th. And then I think let's talk about and again, anybody in the comments or whatever, we were going to maybe make it an editing one. So if you're watching now and you want to come back next week, just in case, bring all your writing with you in case we do an editing one.
Yeah. And let us know what you think. Let us know what you want in the comments, what you're looking for. We might change days as well or add on sometimes. So give us a shout out if you're interested in like a daytime one, that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Oh, look at Lee here doing a shout out. The goal was to remember even how to write after a couple years off. So you ready for the Kate's University Storytelling class with Amy Sumter? Well, good luck, Lee. It's going to be a hoot. And glad that this was a little bit of a warm up. And I mean, Lee brings up like a valid point. Like obviously Jen and I are doing training center things. We are not using this platform really to sell that, but it is in the description box if you are interested, like Story Studio Chicago, Lincoln Lodge Training Center, the Kates. We do have other platforms if you really want. This is more like of a loose thing, but if you want,
but if you want to like elevate it,
yeah,
for sure,
it's there. Okay, so we've got goals. Check. We had tech issues and we survived.
Check. I know my earphones felt like 7,000 times, but next week, guys, I'm going to have that internet back.
It's going to be great. Oh, Joni
was
saying days. Okay. So daytime, you're saying, right, Joni? You're saying like afternoon, or are you saying like get up in the morning? When you wake up in a minute, I was trying to do Saved by the Bell and I couldn't remember it.
Oh, it's good stuff.
Anyway, all right. So we're going to take that feedback of when you would want it as well. So thank you guys so much. Jen, any words of wisdom before we sign off?
You want more pep talks for me?
I think we should always end with the pep talk. Although, you had a rough day. Do you need a pep talk this time?
I'm going to give you guys the pep talk. Maybe you ate all the fruit snacks and told the kids there were no more fruit snacks because you wanted the fruit snacks. And you know what? That is okay. You did the best you could today, and you deserve fruit snacks too. That's my pep talk for the day. Don't feel ashamed.
No shame. Eat those fruit snacks.
They're very comforting. That's it. That's all I got.
I love it. I'm gonna say goodbye to everybody and see you all next weekend.
Bye.
Bye. Oh, lunch. Sorry, Joni. Oh God, not morning.
Lunch.
We're not saying bye yet. Lunch.
All right, lunch. Got it.
Bye.